Sage business partners in the Sage 300 ecosystem across Africa, Middle East. Thank you once more for making the time to join today's session. In continuation with the Tech Partner initiatives, we've put together our session where we wanted to bring the long-standing relationship between Sage and Peresoft together across the Africa, Middle East space. This ultimately would be our platform where we give the opportunity for our tech partners to engage with the business partner ecosystem. I think what will be different around today's engagement is the tech partner that we do have on today's session, of course, is a very well-known tech partner within the Sage Africa Middle East ecosystem over quite some years. So definitely not necessarily an introductory session that might be required here, but I'm very sure that Bobby and team with Samantha, Natalie, Azza, Wayne, Murty will then happily go into the engagements that they have with the Sage team, as well as you, the business partners, throughout the session. What we wanted to do as well for today was just give the opportunity to also talk around the Peresoft and Sage relationship. So I will say thank you for the additional support that we have from Sage in today's call, with Donovan Brink joining just to then again talk to the business partners on today's session. For me not to take up too much time, I will then very happily hand it over to the Peresoft team. We do currently have the session recorded, so as we always will, we'll provide the session to you, the business partner, so that you can make use of it and provide it to your colleagues as well after the session. For now, Bobby, if I may, I'll bring you in to just firstly, as a thanks for joining the session, go into the introduction from your team for any new business partner, new consultant that might not be aware of the Peresoft team themselves, and take it from there if that's okay.
Bobby, you're on mute.
Sorry, the well-known mute.
Why did you guys pick on me? We normally have a kitty. If you're on mute, you have to put $100 into a little jar, and then everybody collects it afterwards. Okay, on a new note, let's go. Okay, so I was obviously on mute because I've been waiting to join. But thank you everyone for joining. It's our second enablement session with Sage. And it's a great privilege to be with Sage and to again promote our product as well as the Sage products around it. As you well know, we are a well-known business partner. So I think my first slide, which is going to be, how old are we? Craig said slightly older than him. With all due respect, Craig. The word slightly is a compliment, because I don't think I'm that much older. I feel younger than you, but that's a separate issue. If you can look at Peresoft's history just briefly, when Accpac came to South Africa in 1982, it came in a different environment to what it is today, and you can see that the first product we wrote was in 1983, that funny little gray thing on the left there, which is our first ever cashbook developed, because when the product arrived, it arrived into this country without a cashbook. And the first thing we realized is when we sold the general ledger to the companies, the first thing that was missing was a cashbook. And in those days, there was no accounting software available on micros, nothing at all. So I got a phone call from our first client, which happened to be Sun International, which is one of the bigger hotel groups in the country. And the accountant there, William Etzine, said to me, we've just bought the general ledger from somebody, and we need to have a cash book because Saul Kersner can't balance his books, and he needs to know how much money he's got in the bank. So off we went. Bobby Perel went, and I'd already developed some software on a North Star, and I wrote the cash book. And that's where the cash book originated from. So in 1984, we interfaced the cash book with debtors, creditors, and ledger, and started selling. Imagine one of the main accounting software programs out there before Pastel, before any product, was the Accpac suite, which was then called IUS. it has taken off like a rocket since then and has become one of the mainstream products in Africa. I would say it's one of the leading products, one of the leading mid-market accounting programs in South Africa, with thousands of users. When we were in 1984, we obviously were writing for DOS. We've obviously taken that to Windows in 1996, and I would say we've had about 20,000 sites on the DOS version. Obviously, the Windows version was a bit more expensive and a bit more, well, I would say a bit more customized for the certain market, which is the medium to high-end accounting systems. So it wasn't as popular as the DOS product out there, and I think Pascal did replace quite a few of the products on the smaller end. But in the high-end market, and the Cashbook for Windows and this Accpac for Windows, as it was called after iOS, became incredibly popular amongst the bigger businesses. Hugely popular, and over 6,000 sites currently today in Africa, South Africa, what I would say is one of the most leading markets in the world. So it is a very popular system, and if you had to see the companies that use the product, as you all know, as solution providers, is incredibly vast and incredibly hell of a reputation, I would say. Just the big boys are using it. Okay. In 2012, we realized we had to streamline our bank recon, and we released the RecXpress product, which to be popular and has from days into hours. And when it's used, is become invaluable and certainly cannot be replaced. It's as strong as ever in that market. And in 2020, we got a call from Sage saying, "Oh, we're now going to release a web version, which is a cloud version of the product." So we had to sit down and rewrite the products into the web UIs. Luckily, when we wrote this into the web UIs, we didn't have to rewrite logic. We used to in 1996 and just put a layer on top, which would then be able to use the view and logic and be able to post versions of how do we develop our posting functions, etc. Which is a huge benefit, because you can imagine the amount of work it goes into processing and product is the size of Cashbook, which has to work with all the different modules in that range. We talk about POE and banks and general ledger, and that's a vast amount of work that was required. But we did release the web UIs in 2020. Okay, so last year, I'll go straight into last year because we're away startup. A situation where people were worried about the future of Sage 300, and of course our product Cashbook, and I think this is became a bit of a negative situation.
Sorry, Bob.
So we went and we spoke to Sage a lot. Yes.
Your connection is a bit breaking. It's breaking a bit. If you could turn off your camera, I'm sure it will help.
I would blame Telkom for that. So let me do something else. I'm not going to blame I've got this thing about people saying I've got a bad connection. Okay, so I don't, this is the, okay, does that make a difference?
Let's run with it. That looks better.
Does that help? Okay. Is that a better connection? I mean, I can always reset my modem and see if that helps, but that'll be a 2-minute break in this situation, which I don't know which is good.
It sounds much better.
Am I breaking up still? Okay,
No,
cool. So I've
good.
taken off the camera. It's obviously my cell phone. I use my cell phone for the talking, and I use my computer for the showing. But for some reason, I'm not going to go for this. So let's get back to the situation. So last year we had a bit of negative around Sage 300, and I put in a lot of work into speaking with Sage and trying to get back the product, the focus that we needed on the products. And of course, this was critical around Cashbook because we wanted to have Cashbook successful. And this is the kind of feedback I got from Sage, which is incredibly positive. So let's just go quickly through the feedback we've had. And I think Donovan's on this call to back me up on this. And I think that's why he joined us. Sage 300 is critical to Sage, our success and our growth. These are statements made by Sage themselves. We are committed to our customers, partners, and market. We continue to invest in technology and other innovations to drive growth. And we want all of you to be part of this exciting journey. Well, we've been part of the exciting journey for 40 years. So it was great to hear that it came from Sage and is a positive forecast. Okay, we also got feedback from Richard Yang and also from Mike Ritchie, who are based in America. And Okay, I don't really need this coming up. So what happened here? We have an aggressive 4-year roadmap in integrating to the Sage network, a new release of Sage Intelligence, new features, and new staff. So they were taking on new staff because they realized the future of Sage 300 is incredibly rosy, and they didn't want to lose the marketplace that they had already established. Also, Mike Ritchie said, we are excited to continue our Sage 300 modernization well beyond 2025 to support our existing customers and those new prospects, where Sage 300 is the right solution for their business needs. This is critical to Peresoft because Peresoft has invested a lot of money in the Peresoft development, and therefore it was great to see these guys being so positive about the future of Sage 300. Okay, a quick statement again from Richard Yang, which was really nice to hear. The sun never sets on the Sage 300 empire. Well, I'm very proud to be part of that empire, and thank you, Richard, because this again makes a very positive future for us and our clients. Okay, because we don't want the clients to start worrying about the future of their product and the future of their investment. So it was very nice to see that as well. Finally, Peter Bench, our VP of Sage, who's really the guy we want to hear from, has said that the Sage, there are no such talks of sunset or anything similar. Now that to me is a huge statement and really is a positive movement forward. Okay, so on that, I'm very proud to say that we have many sites. Okay, for the last 4 years, we've increased our web, our sites from 2,500 whatever to an extra 400 clients, 400 companies, which is not bad. 100 companies a year. That's not bad for a growth pattern in this saturated accounting market. And I'm very proud to say 100 new sites a year is a fantastic result for Peresoft. And of course, we have 60 sales per year on the 300 cloud version, which in the last 4 years has been over 300 new sites using the cloud version. You know, we've discovered with the cloud version that although the clients are keen to log in from anywhere and work from anywhere, some clients also want to still have control over their data, still want to be able to work on their database locally. And often the solution provider who's trying to do support, needs to have the data at their fingertips. So although the cloud version is popular, it's certainly got a long way to go before it becomes totally taking over the on-premise market. At the moment, we're doing development, for example, for 1 or 2 clients in our software, and they're all doing on-premise. They're not ready for the cloud. They like their server being down the road and not too far away, and they also have certain rules which say you can't take your server off site and all that stuff. So in reality, the on-premise version is incredibly strong still and doing very well in the market. And for people who want to go cloud, they've got a very good cloud solution which works together with the on-premise versions. So it makes it very streamlined and very how would you say, it's transparent to the client. So there's no difference really in the software itself. This is a nice one that came from a Sage employee, which was very nice to hear, because obviously we want to be successful for the future. We have to sell the Cashbook with Sage because I don't know why we had the word cause or B cause. Without it, Sage cannot sell 300. Now, we know that, okay? We're not going to beat around the bush, but without the Cashbook, Sage 300 today would have probably not been as popular as it is. And I'm proud to say I've got a very strong development team in Wayne and Carita that develop the software now, and very strong support from Natalie and as a keyware, with our sales team of Murty and Sam, putting it together and really making it a successful product in the market. Thank you very much for that, and thank you, Sage, for saying this, because it really does feel good to know that we are required out there. Okay, so just quickly a summary of our statistics. Okay, product users 3,000 Cashbook currently on software assurance, 1,200 EFT, 1,200 RecX, and we get a 99% renewal rate. And I didn't. Who does keep track of anybody we lose. And I say we obviously lose a few clients every month, but we gain more than we lose, and we're finding that people aren't going anywhere. They're sticking with the 300 product. They find it stable, they find it solid, they enjoy that they know what they're doing. You know, that's critical to our marketplace. It's not just the fact that we have accounting software. That's critical. We have clean, debugged accounting software with a strong support team. And that's where I come in with our solution providers. Our solution providers are incredibly knowledgeable and have a strong sense of what the client needs. And it's irreplaceable. I mean, we've got solution providers that have been with Peresoft now for over 30 years. I mean, you cannot replace that knowledge and that know-how and that understanding of the product. We've always stressed on sharing our knowledge with each other. And we have a very strong Sage community, a very strong. We've also got a very strong WhatsApp group now that was started by, so I think Mitch Martins and a few other people started the WhatsApp group. And on the WhatsApp group, people have issues, they post their WhatsApps, they get answers almost straight away to help them solve problems. You just cannot replace that. That's such a strong, knowledgeable system behind you. And I must say, without the solution providers, we would not have such a successful product. There is no doubt that they are streets ahead of most other solution providers that I know of in other markets. And not just a few of them, lots of people know what they're doing, lots. And I think they take pride in what they're doing. And that's why Sage 300 is not just a product. It's a family of people getting together and creating a viable solution for clients that is way beyond expectations. Way beyond. Okay. And that's my next slide. The business partners are what have made Sage 300 successful. Your sales records are phenomenal. And really, and that is the truth of it. My success is based on the people that sell my product. It's that simple. I'm very proud to say that I've always wanted the success of how many people are using my software as opposed to, you know, turnover and other material things. To me, it's not the fact that people are selling it. It's the fact they're using it and enjoying using it and making their businesses more streamlined and more focused on what they do and not on the accounting software. And that to me is a criteria of 300, which is not going to be easy to replicate somewhere else. It is a phenomenal system. Well done, guys. I really am proud of you. Okay, and here's another one for the business partners. The client can get a problem, but the business partners along with Peresoft give the assurance that they can get a solution the next day. And that is something we're very proud of. We like to provide solutions, fixes, any feedback within 24 hours. And I think most of our problems we've had, and we've had a fair share of problems, because I mean, let's be honest, it's never simple to go from a DOS product to a Windows product, and then to find an established base of Windows development software at the beginning was not easy. But through the years, we've established a solid base and a solid development platform. And to say to you that Sage 300 and Peresoft Cashbook is the leading software in the country. Okay, I think you're happy with that. Am I right, Craig? I see you've suddenly showing your face.
Thank you, Bobby. Sorry to interrupt you during your session. I just want to let you know, I've still got you breaking up just a little bit, and your video is still on. If possible, can you just check for me to turn it off, just to see if it's a bit smoother from your end there, please? But
okay,
thank you
so this is another. There we go. They are switching another video. That was now on my PC.
No, it's the video on your cell phone, Bob.
It's not on.
It is. You've got to hang up the call, or I'm sorry, you just got to. Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
There no. Oh, but now you haven't got my beautiful face.
Oh, disappointing. I know.
I've got to look at Craig and I've got to look at Donovan. I mean, really?
So I think, Bobby, before we dive into the upcoming features which you've put up, I think just to follow on into some of the comments in the slides that you mentioned, and obviously my reason for being on this call, I asked just for a few minutes of your time. Some of the partners on the call were at Partner Kickoff in October in Cape Town, some weren't. And I thought, although Bobby has shared some comments from the likes of Peter, I just really want to reiterate the message which was put out there, in that while we do have a very clear strategy, there is no message around 300 Cloud being an end-of-life product, right? That isn't a message that is out there. And I think that is just something which we wanted to sort of put to bed, right? With that in mind as well, and there is a partner on the call over here, I'm not going to call out names, who roughly about a week or so ago let us know about a customer which had received this message. And we came up in support in writing, so that their partner could communicate to their customer that the rumor, the story, whatever they're hearing is exactly that. It's a rumor, it's a story. There is no call to end of life or any discussion sort of that nature. And I think just on that note as well, these kind of rumors aren't what we want to hear or sort of hear going through the community. And if you do hear something like that, or a customer getting it, or you hear from another partner, whatever the case may be, I really encourage you to reach out to myself, Gerard, or even PJ Bishop, Gerard Hartman or PJ Bishop, just around that, you know. So perhaps if there's a bit of clarity which is needed with the customer, we can put it to bed. So I think that's really what I just wanted to say on this call, sort of in support. That message was very communicated. Yes, we have a clear strategy, but there isn't an end-of-life call for the 300 Cloud product. Bobby, that's really all I wanted to say, and thank you again for affording me just a small slot to deliver that message, and yeah, to the partners, enjoy the rest of the session.
Thank you, Donovan. I'm putting my videos off. You'd see a big smile on my face, big smile. Okay, because that's exactly what we need out there, is a positive message. Am I breaking up, Stop?
No, Bobby, you 100%.
Sounding
Clear.
Okay. And I thought that, okay, cool. So let's get back now to the product itself. I think I wanted to get that message across. Thank you, Donovan. I'll tell you, I just want to say one more thing. When I went to the kickoff, there was a huge mention of Sage 300. And I think the next time they're going to do a kickoff, whatever, they will introduce 300 again as part of the product range again, and start being more positive with the marketing of the product. In fact, the last time I spoke to Gerard and Peter, they mentioned that they were dealing with solution providers who were going to be doing marketing together with Sage, and they were using this, half of their budget was coming from Sage, and that's also available out there when people want to get involved with marketing the 300 product. It's very important for me to know that there's a future, because my business is wrapped around this product completely. So thank you again, Donovan, for joining us and giving us a positive feedback. Okay, so now we're going into Peresoft upcoming features. Now, this is now an interesting scenario, because we have just released 2024 in November, and we've already done a webinar on all the new features. And I mean, I can just quickly go there briefly. I have to actually just go there like this here. I've loaded a few live slides, and I think the main features that we brought into the 2024 product range, we all know, because we have already done it. We had a great presentation with Sage in November. Over 100 people had joined the session. And the two major features we did add to our product was the SFTP product features, which were the way of getting statements and sending payments straight to the bank without any interaction or uploading or whatever. So I'm not going to go into depth with this. As a keyword at the end of my presentation, we'll just tell you where to find the videos of those webinars, and to show you, it shows you in detail all the new ideas and the new ways of doing your bank retrieval as well as your bank payments. And I will say now that we are now doing great with this new features, but I'm going to focus already. We are already onto our next version, and this is what I'm going to show you now in the presentation. Okay, so we've got a list here of what's coming. Okay, and you can see there's a list here. I'm going to go into each one at a time. But at the moment, there's miscellaneous payments for AP, ready to post flags on, auto updating of miscellaneous details. Bank feeds from the Sage bank feeds have now been a bit more integrated into RecXpress. Transaction codes being blank. I'll explain it all in a bit more detail in a second. new RecX Auto Apply for customers and vendors, and ABSA F&B solutions now for your EFT payments as well. We've got NetBank, we've got Standard Bank, and now we're doing ABSA's almost finished, and the next bank is going to be for F&B as well. So we'll have the 4 major banks that will handle the SFTP payment system that's introduced into the new Cashbook. Okay, so the first feature we've added, which is going to be coming out in the next version or in the next hotfix. We are trying to work out which one we can do. I think this one's going to be the next version as opposed to the hotfix. And that is, we've left out miscellaneous payments from Cashbook to AP, which is a very useful feature for the client, because now if they're also allowed, they can already do prepay, they can do payments and apply document, but they can't do miscellaneous payments. And the reason we want to add that is because if you do missed payments, you can also print invoices in AP for the, or remittances for those payments. And that will the clients often want from the AP system as well. So that's one of the enhancements we're looking at doing. The set ready to post flag, although it was mentioned in our previous session, I just wanted to bring it a bit more, a highlight to it. When you generate batches now in our multiple RecXpress grid, which is an incredible way of doing your month end, as opposed to doing it individually by RecXpress, we now allow you to switch those batches to ready to post straight away. So when you post your batches that you've created from RecXpress, they already have got the flag on, and you can then instantly post your batches. Okay. This is a feature we added, which I thought was missing, and this is because you do miscellaneous detail updates in different places, 2 places to be exact. One is under miscellaneous codes, and another one is under miscellaneous code details in batch entry. If you change the information, we want it to be reflected in the miscellaneous code file or table, or vice versa. So if you change your miscellaneous code details and you've got unposted batches in miscellaneous, it will automatically take that information you've changed in miscellaneous codes and allow you to update all your unposted batches straight away and put in the new information there. In the previous version, we had a way of what we'd have to do. We'd make you regenerate the batch for payment, and we'd then ask you, do you want to update your miscellaneous codes information from the MIS file? The problem with that with EFT and with the way we're doing it now, we can't actually do the generating of a batch again, because the batch, remember, is sent to the bank. Okay, so we've now changed that to be a bit more instantaneous on that level. It's a great changes, by the way. The other feature we're adding at the moment, which is not quite finished because we still have to go via your bank, but we've now got the bank feeds working from Sage 300, and I think that's a huge feature forward. And we wanted to integrate that more with, say, with our RecXpress. So what it does now is you can link to your bank feeds. You can see it's quite interesting here, that I don't think we've actually really pushed this a lot with Sage 300. But the Sage 300 bank feeds not only deal with the banks themselves, but you can see in the middle here, it also deals with other banking systems, like, for example, your Diners Club. I found that quite interesting, and I wonder, I haven't tried it because I don't have a Diners Club, can't afford that yet, but maybe one day. But we do have things here like NetBank Online, we obviously got from it there. We've also got gain stores and private banking, and the list goes on. I even saw Woolworths on here. So I haven't tried any of these interfaces. So let me ask you, Donovan, you seem to know about 300. Can I ask you, I'll bring you back into the conversation, but has anybody actually tried Woolworths, for example?
Oh, Bobby,
I gotcha, hey.
If
I
Donovan's
gotcha.
the one to answer.
Donovan, come on, guys. Fascinating.
I'm gonna try and see if I can loop Patty in here, if Patty's got any insight from a technical perspective. Patty,
Yeah, but that's an interesting fact. Is Patty on this call?
I'm here.
There we go.
Patty's here.
Hi, Patty. How you
Hello.
doing?
Good,
How
thanks.
you
How's
doing?
everybody?
Fine. Thanks for the information. I haven't answered you yet because I wanted to just get a bit more on that info that you sent me. But Patty, look at these interesting bank feeds we have. Kalula credit card. I mean, I've never had a Kalula credit card.
I can see it's very impressive. You guys got done an amazing job.
Yeah. So we need to see how these work, because I do know that I'm using the Nedbank bank feed just to see how it works, and it is working quite well. There are a few things lacking, like you mentioned, which is transaction codes, etc. But in general, it was working quite well. So this is an exciting development to work with RecXpress, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I dragged you in here. Sorry, you weren't prepared. I fully
Thank you.
understand.
I know. I
No
was here from
mercy.
the beginning. I was here from the
Oh,
beginning.
cool. Oh, brilliant, brilliant. No mercy from Bobby. Typical. Okay.
I didn't want to say anything just in case you started picking on me.
Of course, I'm going to pick on you. No, of course not. That was not intentional at all, Patty. But I was very excited to drop that list down and see the list of banks.
That's
that you can
beautiful.
interface with.
You've done
So,
an
I mean, I
amazing
can
job.
go back to a live. I can go to the live, the one where I got the screenshot from. I might just nip there in a few minutes and just show it to you. But there's a long list of banks and accounts that you can feed in. So what we've done here, we want to feed this into our RecXpress. So once you've done the link, we're just getting the final details from Canada, so we actually can have a button you press as opposed to going into bank services to do the feed. But we've almost got that working. But when you select e-statement from your list of banks in RecXpress, it will then retrieve this information into your RecXpress temporary file, and then you're able to retrieve it into your bank. So that's very nice. Often the banks, I've noticed, don't always have an upload for their credit cards. But if you can do it this way through the Sage bank feed, it's a nice final way of tying up everything to be fed into RecXpress automatically. Okay, we have got a few questions with regard to this. We are getting a few answers, and we will have more information in the future on how these bank feeds are working. Great.
Just to add, Cesar does have a
Yes.
question here. He says, what about retrieved batches from AP and AR being posted automatically in Cashbook?
What about them?
I'm assuming, would you add it as a...
That's a good question. I was quite surprised it doesn't do it already, because we do it the other way around, where we feed batches to our own AP and post them. Wayne's also on the call. Wayne, do you think that's a way we can do something there?
Yeah, I do remember when CISO asked that a week or two ago, and we discussed it, and I think we're adding it to the enhancement forum. I think it's definitely worth putting in. I'm also
Cool.
surprised we haven't done it.
Brilliant. So we'll put that in next time, CISA. Good question. Excellent idea. Great. By the way, all these features come from you guys. It's important for us, because obviously we do certain things. I use Cashbook myself, but there's so many more features, and you're going to see a few coming up in a few minutes that have now been added by clients. And they really do add some special new features in. Here's another feature we've added to RecXpress, where you don't have to use a transaction code for your likes. So yeah, you can have a rule that is not restricted by transaction code, and will go across any transaction that comes from the bank, and use the like or compare method of a like that contains, and then put that rule onto that transaction. We've taken away the transaction code necessity. Okay, this is used across different categories or whatever without being specific on transaction codes. Cool. This next feature that's going to be coming in is a really powerful feature, where it allows you, instead of now allocating a rule to a customer, a specific customer, you can now allocate a rule to a customer or customers that enter their customer numbers in the reference field in the bank. And what it automatically does here, just Wayne, won't you fill us in just quickly what it does?
Yeah, sure. What it's going to do here, so the new thing we've added is, as you can see in the graphic there, we've added 3 items to the entry type: CB miscode, AP vendor, AR customer. And if you create a rule using one of those types, like AR customer, the format and the rule will know then to go and extract the customer AR customer number from the reference number in the bank statement, and either allocate it or create a prepayment for it.
Correct.
So it'll cover innumerable customers or vendors in one statement file.
Correct. And you have one rule now for all the customers, as opposed to individual rules per customer. And that just broadens your scope completely now to bring in transactions where the customer enters their number and we'll be able to allocate it, not just sort of the prepay, but any of the other allocation methods we have in RecXpress. And as you can see, we give it a prefix. So you can say to it anything that has a prefix of CST underscore. Anything after that is the customer number. Okay, so you can make it quite specific as to how to find the customer number. A very nice feature. Okay, and that feature came, I can see our time's already flying past. That feature came with this idea that what we're going to do is add a timer to the RecXpress multiple grid, and the timer will be able to look for a bank statement automatically for you and run on its own, automatically picking up the bank statement and then creating all the different batches for you, and then renumbering, creating the batch, posting the batch, and posting recons. This is an online payment system that allows the bank to send you a file every 20 minutes or 10 minutes, and you will then automatically get it to post in AR and AP and update the client's balances or the customer's balances. Very nice feature for people who are expecting deposits to be reflected in their customer files quickly and easily and spontaneously without having to do it themselves. And is used by companies who do bidding or auctioning, etc. So this is a new feature that's going to be added in soon. We're just deciding if we should bring it in with a hotfix or we're going to bring it in with a 2025. But at the moment, it's looking good and it's really a powerful function. So it's online payments with no user interaction, and it updates the banks. Fantastic, I think. Cool. Just to quickly summarize, SFTP available banks, Nedbank, ABSA, FNB, and Standard Bank, and we are keen to add more. If you guys have got a contact in the bank that can give us all the information we need, we will add the new SFTP banks. Cool. I'm now going to hand you over just to Azakiwe. Azakiwe has been just updating all our documentation. Just give you a quick overview where to find it, etc. And there's extensive documentation. Aza, all yours.
Thanks, Bob. As Bob has said, there are plenty of resources at your disposal. If you visit our website and you can navigate to downloads, and under downloads, you can click general downloads. You will find all our PowerPoint presentations. As you can see here, we've got the mastering rules of RecXpress, unlocking RecXpress secrets, and so on. And then all of these resources are found in our general downloads. And we also have Peresoft TV, which hosts numerous videos that you can share with your clients. You can also follow all scenarios in our training videos using the PowerPoint presentations found on our website under general downloads. Furthermore, we have significantly enhanced our help. For example, Bob was wondering why a certain field was inactive, and he simply pressed F1 to access all the relevant information about that field. And additionally, we provide quick links to facilitate easier navigation, ensuring you don't spend unnecessary time searching our website, our help website. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Aza. And you can see on the right there, RecXpress resources. We've added a whole bunch of stuff. And Aza, I must say, I didn't know how come that field was not active, and your help saved me straight away. I didn't feel
Thanks,
like an
Bob.
idiot. Okay. And you know what? The help today is just totally different. It's just amazing. I'm very impressed, and it really is when the client gets stuck. I mean, when they're doing SFTP and all that, they just press F1, and it really has improved the system, and it really improved Peresoft Cashbook and RecXpress. I think, and there we go. As are they all your training videos?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes, correct. Those are all the videos, and yeah, the dealers can also share them with their clients if they wish. And by using the PPTs we also provide on the website, you can follow, like I said, the scenarios in our training videos.
I'd also
Thanks.
like to add that Az and I are going to be offering more training sessions throughout the year. We will definitely be sending out an email whenever those training sessions happen.
Brilliant. So, just to summarize, what Natalie said is we are going to have more webinars of training. I did a great one the other day. I'm not praising myself, but it was fun doing it, and on doing the rules, and it was fascinating to hear the feedback, because with the way we explain it now, seems to be a better way. We've learned how to talk better and understand things better. And the feedback's been amazing, I must be honest with you. Really good. Great. I think that's now, we've come to the end of our presentation. As you can see, we haven't really done the 24 release. We're showing you what's coming already. If you want to see what was done in the 24 release, we have got a webinar already done, which you're welcome to watch, and it will give you an in-depth. So let me, before I say goodbye, I would like more questions. I really would.
Yeah,
more
Bob,
comments.
we have 20 minutes, firstly, left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I also want to add, like, you know, with the SFTP solutions, that's going to be included in the training sessions that we will offer. And we are going to make the training sessions a bit smaller, of, you know, smaller groups of people, so that we can really focus in on the sessions with the business partners and answer all your questions.
I'm obviously looking at the wrong timer here. Oh, because we started early, Craig. Okay, so that gives me a chance here to just quickly go to your bank feeds and just look at that list of bank feeds they provide. Yeah, if we run out, you know, if we've gone through everything and we've actually got 10, 20 minutes left, that's a good time for people to start making comments. What do they think of the future of 300? Are they happy with what's transpired? And there was a lot of negative last year, and we want to see a positive feedback. We want to see things getting ahead and people getting ahead, and are people happy with the 300 system? And so while we got 10, 15 minutes, Mitch, are you on the call?
How's it? Yes, I
am. Mitch, the man we need. You were into negotiations with Sage. It will be lovely to hear a little bit of input as to how Sage have reacted to us and how they're feeling about the future and how the 300 product is going to go ahead. I think it'll really be nice.
Yeah, I think also, I mean, I think it's time also for us to catch up on some of the Sage 300 action group calls as well. So I'm very happy to see Don on the call, and, you know, all the positive statements. I think everybody here, the Sage 300 people, are very, very happy about that. I mean, you know, I think we've come a long way. I think you know, the relationship is very well and healthy, and looking forward to some good things to come. And obviously, your product is amazing.
Thanks, man. That's just thank you, Mitch. Again, you can't see my face. Yeah, you did. I see you've grown a bit of a beard there since I spoke to you, eh?
A little bit.
Yeah, you got a bit lazy in your age, eh? You think you don't have to
Valentine's
shave every day. For Valentine's Day. No, come on, all the girls are running, Mitch. Oh, that's
okay. We do have a question from Will, from Beta in Nigeria, and he says, may we know why there seem not to be any integrations from Nigeria banks? I'd just like to add, we do have about 3 banks. We have about 3 banks, bank formats for Nigeria. But, you know, if you want more developed, obviously you just contact us. But as Bob said, with the SFTP, if any of your banks have that capability, then we are more than willing to integrate. Hey, Bob?
Absolutely. And let me make a clear statement here. We are not discriminating against Nigeria. Please, let's make that absolutely clear. I was just going to go look here and see exactly what banks we've already got set up for Nigeria. And I'm sure we've got a couple, you know, let me just go there, Natalie. But when it comes to SFTP, it's a new system, and we would love if people have got Nigeria banks that use SFTP, and I'm sure there are, to develop it for those banks. Very happily do that. Okay, so we need to just get the actual file outs and exactly who to talk to there, but we'd love to do that. I'm just looking here to see. We've got a few banks in Nigeria already, haven't we?
Yes, I believe we have
just
standard.
Congratulate the guys on the AFCON.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you want? Please be my guest.
Congrats.
No, you're right. Well done, guys. We're not happy you beat us. Not happy.
Yeah, but congratulations
nonetheless. To you guys. Well done. I wasn't happy with the penalty shootout, but I bit my tongue and I thought 1 point would do it like the rugby, but it didn't do that. But well done, guys. Very, very good. Well done. Champions at last. Hey, well, who were champions last time? I think it was Morocco. But anyway, so Nigeria, you guys must be over the moon. Over the moon. Over the moon.
So just to add, we have Access Bank of Nigeria, we have Standard Chartered Bank, we have Union Bank, and we have Zenith Bank.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so those are the
we've
four
got
banks
5 or
that we
6
have
already. Yes, yes. Okay.
And we're always open to building that, growing that list, of course.
Yeah, to grow, absolutely. And I was just looking here for their list of countries here, and I've noticed you're dead right. They have not got Nigeria listed here, and I think again, it's who took priority here. And Patty, where you need to get these banks here.
Will does say thank you. Great to hear the 4 banks. Pleasure, Will.
Cool. But we need to improve that list.
Yes.
Always. Okay. Right. Anything else we can talk about? Okay, I'm looking now through the list here. Look at this. We've got Truworths. I mean, really? I thought they'd closed their doors. Okay. British Airways. I mean, what do you think you're importing from these guys? It's fascinating to see that. British Airways. What would you import then?
Maybe your miles or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Fascinating. Okay, and you can see there's a huge selection here. Beta, that's a beta version. I don't think people have used this a lot, and I think the more we get into this, the better, and get Sage to update this list. Okay, cool. Okay, so just basically to summarize, we've still got 10 more minutes, I think. Am I right?
Yeah, just
correct.
Just over 10. And I think, sorry, Bobby, before you jump into that, I think from a Sage lens, as we have been doing these sessions, firstly, the thank you to the Peresoft team for availing yourselves for today's session and presenting on behalf of the Sage team here. To the partners on the call, as Bobby has rightfully said, the engagement that we have around Sage 300 is something that we definitely want to support going forward. I think this platform, these engagements, you can see from the Sage colleagues on the call, Donovan, Susan as our PMM, Patty from support that you know so well. Yes, cool. Susan is here. I'm going to call out JT as well. I saw that he was here. So the engagements here from a Sage perspective is great. We want to continue these platforms. Feedback from the partners, I think, also is something that I would ask for. So having a session like this, having the not necessarily just technical show and tell of solution, but more so relationship and what that looks like. Let's know what that means for you as the partner in the ecosystem. Do you want more of this? Do you want different types of engagements? We're very happy to support and continue our engagements from a Sage tech partner level. But yeah, we want to know what works for you guys as well. So please, any survey, thank you email that goes out to the partners, I welcome you to please complete that, give us that insight.
You're taking my time, Craig. You're not allowed to take my time. I'd say, JT, are you there from Canada?
Yeah. Hey, Bobby. How you doing?
Oh, good to hear your voice.
JT, what a surprise.
What a surprise.
Yeah. Well, I got to keep you guys honest, right? So that's why I thought I'd just kind of be a fly on the wall. But no, it's really cool to see what you've done technically. I mean, seriously, yeah. I mean, you and Natalie and Wayne and Karita. I mean, seriously, you guys have done a fantastic job. So kudos.
Yeah, this new system we bring out for the automatic payments, which it's going to be great because, you know, I was always amazed at like certain companies we're paying here. Like if we do a payment to like DSTV, much to our horror, we're paying DSTV, which is a satellite company here. When you do the payment within 10 minutes, you can go into your account and you can actually see the payment reflected in their account. With this new system that we're writing, where the batches are fetched automatically and posted, it's going to be the same scenario. So if the user wants to actually develop a front end for their client and interface that to the database, they'll be able to show the client their account and either using a simplified version of the AR AP inquiry, and they'll see their payments are really reflected there. And we're going into a new world now with the SFTP system that we've written. And all these new features are going to be put in as we grow. And you're dead right. It's a different dimension and a much more online mainframe type interface. So yeah, we are very excited by that. And just to carry on a bit more, because I'm a very positive guy about Sage 300 in South Africa. And I will just say that thank you very much for your support from last year, because Sage 300 had a great year last year, and Sage 300 is looking forward to a very good new year. And the Sage product in Africa and South Africa is still the leader. There's nothing like it, nothing like it. And again, it's because of our solution providers and the knowledge we provide. I keep doing this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little bit biased, but I do love our products, and I do love the 300 ecosystem. Thank you for joining us, JT. That's quite an honor.
You're welcome, Bobby.
I'm beaming here. You see, Craig, we're not just an ISV, we're a little bit more.
Francis has a question.
Yes.
Since the number of bank formats are increasing constantly, can a search feature be added to that screen?
Okay, we already have the Finder that does kind of break down what banks are available. Maybe you can be a bit more specific. I know we've got 250 banks here. So if you, for example, need to look for a bank, the problem is we don't have a Finder here.
There is a Finder there at the top of the screen?
There's the Finder. Sorry, Natalie. Thank you. I've got a daughter that likes to make me look like an idiot. But I can handle that. Okay, so we've tried to add, like you said, different ways of looking. So, for example, if you wanted to look for Nedbank, you could put Nedbank here. Okay, and it will find all the different Nedbank formats. You might want us to add a few more search criteria. Please let us know and we'll add them. But that's what we've done at the moment. There are so many bank formats. You're dead right. You're dead right. Okay. Is that okay? Does that answer your question?
Yes. Francis says, thank you. How did I ever miss that? You don't have I don't know, you don't have me there looking at your screen.
Hold on. Thank you, Natalie. You made me miss it. So yes, it's easy, Francis. Just borrow Natalie for an hour and she'll teach you how not to miss things. Okay. Anything else? No, I think we keep adding so many new features and so much. You need to now catch up, read the documentation we've done, and just see exactly how these things work. Just to give you another praise of our system, because I mean I'm never lacking in praise. What Wayne and Karita have done with this new payment system, when we're showing the clients now, we're doing extra development for clients. So because we've got a bit of time, we're a bit ahead of the curve. If you've got clients who want to add features that are quite huge and quite powerful and that specific for their business, we are doing a bit of customized development. So this new system that we've written now for the client, they're very excited to use it. They think it's a great way forward for their business. It's going to streamline their system way beyond their expectations. Can't wait to get it going. And they're also happy that we're putting it into a version for everybody else to even use and sell, because they don't have to worry about upgrading, you see. Because if you're going to add an enhancement to a program, the biggest problem we have afterwards is when we do an upgrade, is that enhancement going to still be there? So if we are able to make it more generalized or generic, we can then say to the client, listen, we've written this new system for you. And the good news is when we do 2025, 26, it's going to be in there for you without any more development. So we have done a bit of development now for some big clients, and it's really, really actually enhancing our software even more and giving you guys a benefit of being able to pierce or get into bigger markets and different markets, or make your clients even happier. And isn't that really what this is all about? And just to finally to close off, it's about, as we would say in accounting, the accounting department is something you don't want to deal with. You want to deal with selling your product. You want to deal with selling what you do. For example, you don't want to start worrying that the bank recon isn't working. You don't want to worry that the invoicing system didn't work. You don't want to have to worry about SARS and VAT reports. That must all just happen without any issues. Your concentration for your client is to do the business that they are built to do. And I think that's where this RecXpress, the EFTXpress, and all these new ways of doing your bank recons just takes away the worry of your accounting modules and gives the client the ability to focus on what they're good at. And I think that is why 300 is such a successful product in South Africa. And Africa, sorry, Nigeria, sorry, I really apologize. In Africa, it is a successful product. And I can thank the solution providers for that. And Sage for coming to the party. Thank you, gentlemen. That's the end of me. I've run out of praises. I really have. Okay. If you want to add anything, Craig, please be my guest.
No, thank
JT,
you.
you're welcome. Hey?
Thank you firstly very much, Bobby, for the presentation once more. I think from a Sage point of view, and I'm putting a lot of ownership here to our product marketing team, but as we earlier in our financial year, as well as last year announced, we've got the dedicated resources within region that's focusing around the messaging for our products. And I think we appreciate that we've got our tech partner relationships that exist, and we're going to continue pushing that around the campaigns that Susan Sambo is setting up and engaging as we go through the calendar year. So a lot of these sessions and conversations are driven to that support around Sage 300 as well. So partners, please continue to look out for those sessions. Bobby, to yourself and your team around what's been presented, around the relationship that you've built over many years with the partners. Thank you for that, and definitely looking to continue that partnership going forward.
Great. Thank you, Craig. Thank you.
See any other comments or questions? So partners.
So I just want to make one more comment. I forgot to mention, Craig. All these new features obviously will be in our web UIs and our cloud version as well. So it's not just going to, I mean, showing on-premise because we wrote the first system for on-premise, but it's all going into web and it will be available in the cloud. Thank you.
100%.
Brilliant.
Thank you for that, Bobby.
Right.
All right. Partners, thank you very much for making the time for today's session. We have managed to get 2 minutes before the hour. We will be wrapping up the recording as well, and as always, distribute this to our partner base. I think as a Natalie, any engagements we want to include in our thank you mail to the partners, I'll reach out to you and set that up separately. But for now, partners, thank you very much for the time. Peresoft team, you all have a fantastic day going forward there.
Cheers, everyone.
Thanks, Craig.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks now. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.